Hello guys, Major Colton here with another build tutorial, and today bringing you the Blitzkrieg Fortress Squad, which is pretty much the hardest hitting, highest armor AC that I can probably give you. Like, not really hardest hitting, but hardest hitting in quick succession, as in you can run in there and obliterate someone as quick as, like, physically possible. Now let's get to it. Now, let's start with the frame, first of all, because the frame is very important. You have to use this exact frame. And pretty much its exact internals as well, because everything is pretty tight-knit, like, pretty bound together. Like, there's really not any wiggle room for, like, customizing this build, quite honestly. Took me a little bit to figure out the exact part usage to even build it correctly. First of all, we're going to use the Ukafune Model 3. Now, you might be wondering why that when I said it's not when I said you're going to be getting there quickly and hurting quickly, but really you got to use this because if you don't, you ain't gonna have enough pick me up to hold all your parts, and then you're not gonna have enough armor to still be a super fortress squad. Now, this is similar armor actually to my personal fortress squad that I put out here recently. Only difference is instead of not buffing out Tansies, now you don't buff out strekozas, and quite honestly, not many people are going to run out of quad with strekozas, so this is a pretty good trade-off because people by default will automatically assume you buff them out, quite honestly, if they don't scan you. It's a good way to juke them out, pretty much. And the arms, you want to use dual shoulder unit, TE arms, the Animus, the AD228. For the core, you have to use the CA215. There is no wiggle room, like I said, on these parts. Not only you need this for reasons of armor, but because a lot of other cores, kind of can't carry them. I mean, there was a few changes I made that made it where I could carry a few of these other cores. Originally, I couldn't carry like any of them but one. But even after the changes, this is really the best core for what you're looking for because you're not going to buff out strekozas and that with the way it's going to be set up. You can probably put, even if you put this on, which has more of that, but less speed, less energy recovery, less TE defense. Really, this is really more for what you're going to want to do, but for what you're doing. And for the head, you're going to use the HR2 Scarlet and the Lenny Retrofit stack TE armor. Okay, now let's get to the internals. And as you can see, you're going to be using first of all, you're going to be using dual XXO Kurosawas, and don't worry about the way they're spec'd, I'll get to that in a minute. But because of the reason since you are using XXO Kurosawas, you can't use a high output because you won't be able to fire them, and you can't use a high capacity because once you fire them, you won't ever get your charge back to fire again. So you have to use the GA319 balance generator, and this is probably the only build I have in this game that uses a balance generator because really they're not as useful as they were in the last game. But you want to use this because it's got good energy capacity to fire like both of them at the same time at fully charged. So, and then you want to use the BA124 boosters because they're the lowest consumption of all the high acceleration boosters. If I were to use these, I would lower my energy recovery to the point where it's just bad in general for this, so you literally have to use these boosters. Don't try using any low consumptions, please, for the love of God, because then that would just be a horrible idea. As for this, I have the recon unit, the REX A13s. Now, you might be wondering why I'm using these, because I never use these in any of my tutorials. But really, builds like this I'm showing you right now are really meant to go in tandem with similar builds. Like, if you got your whole team running something like this, you can bet and rest assured that you are going to be a terror on the battlefield if all four of you are running this, because you're going to be hitting so hard, it's not even funny. And the reason why you want to use this with a build like this is because it's got 320 range and 9,000 operational time. But the main kicker is that you can put out 5 of them simultaneously in different points in the battlefield. Now, four different people putting out 5 different of them. That's 5, 10, 15, 20 different active recon units. The entire battlefield is visible to you. And keep in mind, like, this is a Blitzkrieg thing. You can't Blitzkrieg by yourself. So, I mean, it's great in PvP, like PvP, but like solo, like in 1v1s. But if you got a whole like 4 people in conquest battles, it's like using stuff like this, you can go from being an F rank to an S rank in a few days if you know what you're doing. But and then if you also, you can throw in an operator with all 4 of you using this recon unit. Just you'll have the whole map visible for your operator. He'd be able to help you a lot better. Like if someone's trying to sneak around, or if someone's got a giga missile, or someone's trying to like use some cheap tactic against your semi-cheap tactics, then he'll be able to call him out and tell you where he is. Don't mind, that's one of my friends, one of my bros. Actually, that guy TMLG featured on my channel. You guys should go check him out. Because they plan on doing they got Minecraft stuff right now, but they plan on doing some other stuff like some Skyrim mods, some of the Destinies, a lot of the games that are coming out soon. They'll be doing it. I highly recommend checking out their channel. They're pretty funny guys, pretty cool dudes, so I highly recommend it. But back to the build. Sorry guys, didn't mean to preach for a little bit. As for the FCS, you want to use the FSL E28. The reason being so you can dual shoulder unit like a madman with your missiles that you're going to have right here. The Sazanami Model 2s, no if, and, or buts. These are the only missiles you can use. Like I said, no if you're going to use this build, you cannot deviate from a single part. Every part must be exactly as I have it right here. This is not a tutorial for you to take and to, you know, make it your own. This is a cookie cutter, bam, off the factory line, Major Colton Incorporated, like, take you to an F rank, to an S rank, kick some guy's ass build. As for the battle rifles, you want to use 2 strekozas. I have mine spec'd to 2 power, 1 accuracy for extra muzzle, so that you'll be more your hits will connect. And if you got 4 people just piling on one guy with these, they're dead in seconds. And that's another thing, guys. When you use this, if you guys want to do a 4-man team of this, what you want to do is you want to run in and all focus down one guy at a time, focus fire, and they will be dead in seconds. And then automatically it's a 3v4. Do it to the next guy. By the time you're doing this, they probably wouldn't even be able to kill one of you because you all have so much armor and they'll all be shooting at different ones of you, and you're all just like, boom, dead, boom, dead. I'm sure you guys can imagine what I'm saying and how it'll go. As for the back unit weapons, both you need to use double XO Kurosawas, and all 3 spec to rapid fire. Now you might be wondering, why all 3 into rapid fire? That's just weird and stupid, and no, it's not. Just sit down and listen. Standardly, a fully powered spec Kurosawa only has 2,000 more, and it has almost twice as much charge time for just what, that extra 2,000 damage? It's not worth it. And it takes, for that 2,000 damage, it also takes up like almost 20,000 energy consumption. That's horrible. But with the all 3 rapid fire, you still got the 10k damage. 2 of these together is 20k damage. 20k damage with the charge time of some of the most quickly fast charging rifles that you have at your disposal. So just instant charge both of these, boom, instant 20k, throw in the VDS, boom, you just hit a guy with 30k all by yourself. If all 3 of you hit that guy, there's no way he's gonna survive. Even if you had dual shields out, if all of you do that on one guy at the same time, poof, just a big ass explosion, blue Kurosawa plasma and fire from the K missiles everywhere, just death and destruction running amok. The enemies are going to be panicking because they won't know what the hell to do because you're not taking any damage and they're just dropping like flies. Your consumption's only going to be that much, so you'll be, like, even if you do like back-to-back fully charged shots, you could probably get 4 fully charged shots off back-to-back. So even with just these, even just one player with dual Kurosawas like this can make a difference. But when you got 4 people, not even a problem, not even a challenge. Even when someone tries to counter you, it's still hard to beat it. And well, that's all for the parts. Take another quick overview of the internals. Really amazing armor, 4k energy recovery with over 100,000, like I think around 116, if I think. Capacity, let's look to make sure your capacity will be over pretty much, yeah, nope, I was looking at the output and combining it. The energy capacity is 113, that's 3k off, not too bad. Stability 1142, so you're barely gonna miss shots. And max your AP on top of your impenetrable armor is just like god awful high. And another reason why I'd say it's not good to deviate from parts, because you only got a couple hundred space. I made a few changes before I finished it, so it did add actual wiggle room. Before I only had like 8 points of wiggle room, but I found a way to improve on the build. So, and all, like, remember guys, you want to use this in a pretty much pack mentality, all of you going in and focusing down on a guy. And really, if you guys want to see this in action right now, and you want to see something to show your friends to help convince them of just how menacing and deadly this is, watch this little extra tidbit after this that shows you exactly how the pure destructive force that this thing is going to hold. Starting about now. And now you'll see just how destructive a thing like this is. Even before the enemy has even gotten close to me, they're about to drop like a fucking fly. Instantly took down to 6k. Finish off with a quick blast. Oh, that missed, but that's because I was trying to, you know, get it done with. Should have only taken that. Instant kill, pretty much. Didn't take any AP. Probably have enough firepower to take on probably like 10 more of those guys before they probably wore me down because of lack of ammo. But there you guys go. Just a massively destructive build. Remember, you want to run, each of you running one of these, but it's still good for solo. Even if there's just one of you running these, it's still a great idea to run it. And wondering about the name right there, Eden Reaper Omega, because as an ode to the team I'm on, Warriors of Eden currently. But all in all, if you guys like the build, comment, like, subscribe, and check out some of my other builds. I got some a lot of build tutorials that a lot of people have really liked. I got a lot of emblem tutorials that are pretty much the same great quality. And then I also have UNAC tutorials for you to train against using these, so that you can get even better. Just list goes on. Got a lot of conquest videos for you guys to study if you wanted to, or just watch for your own entertainment purposes. But all in all, if you like the video, comment, like, subscribe, like I said. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.